Hi everyone, it's Jeremy. I'm here in Times Square. So New York City tour guides often get complaints about New York City. Most people love it, but the complaints we hear from people are, oh, you know, New York City, I went there, it was too crowded, it was too noisy, people were trying to take advantage of me, it smelled like weed and all this stuff. And you almost immediately realize that these are people who spent truly inordinate amount of time of their vacation in or around Times Square and have judged the entire city by this area over here and the surrounding blocks. And as any New Yorker knows, or anyone who's done a really thorough New York City vacation knows, there are very few places in New York City less like New York than Times Square, other than the surrounding theater district, which is quite wonderful and very New York. This is not New York City. You can pick almost any neighborhood in New York City and get a more authentic experience than this. Times Square is the quintessential tourist trap experience. So I'm just going to go over to my warnings to New Yorkers beyond just get the hell out of Times Square. You know, come in for, I would say, 10, 15 minutes, get your pictures of all of this. It is an iconic, well-known place in the world, and then get out. But here, actually, we can see one of my first warnings is this is the place where you're most likely to have some sort of scam or something being done. So there are a number of common scams that'll happen to people in and around Times Square. One of the biggest is the costumed characters. So like a lot of places, Hollywood Boulevard, the Vegas Strip, you see people here in these type of costumes, and they'll come up to you and they'll ask you if you want to take pictures and things of that nature. And of course you are expected to tip. Sort of where it gets scammy is, let's say you see Sonic the Hedgehog over here and you're like, oh, my kid likes Sonic. We'll go up and get a picture of Sonic. I think maybe that's worth $1 for my kid. But as soon as you go up, all the other characters will kind of come in around and they'll try and jump in the picture, and then they'll all want money for it. Then, as you would have seen at the very beginning intro of the video before I came in, you have a lot of fake monks around here. I really assure people, these people are as much a real monk as I am. And they'll come and they'll hand you a trinket or bracelet or something like this and tell you that it's a peace offering. They're raising money for some mystery temple. Do not give these people a dime. They are absolute con artists. The most aggressive scam that you'll encounter here in Times Square are the CD guys. So the CD guys, if you ever encounter them, this is a group of guys who will be handing a CD to you, telling you that they're an up-and-coming, you know, rap or hip-hop artist, and that, you know, this is their demo tape or whatever, and they want you to take a listen to it, and then they'll hand it to you for free, and then they'll come and harass you, demanding a donation, and they won't just settle for $1. They're going to want big, big dollars. I've heard incidents of them literally just ripping money out of people's wallets, forcing some guy to go to an ATM. And if you try to hand the CD back to them, they'll get really, really aggressive. They'll refuse to take it. They'll start demanding money. So what I always tell people, the best way to avoid scams in Times Square, whether it's the costume people, some monk trying to hand you a bracelet, some guys trying to hand you a CD, is to literally ignore them. A lot of times people take the polite approach if, you know, someone tries to hand them something like the CD or a bracelet from the fake monks and being like, oh, no, thank you. And what I, as a New Yorker, always tell these people is the minute you've engaged them, and even to say politely, no, thank you, you have messed up. You should not even engage. The true New Yorker is to literally ignore them, the costume people and all these people. Pretend like you do not see them. Just walk past. Do not engage, no matter how polite you're being, because the minute you engage, they know you're not a New Yorker. They see you as a mark. And as far as they're concerned, it's not a question of if they're going to wear you down and get your money. It's only a question of how long it's going to take. So just move on. Don't take anything someone tries to hand you in Times Square. Just move on. And in general, as I was saying at the beginning, just move on from Times Square. This place, you know, again, it's worth coming for 10, 15 minutes to get a good look at it. Or if you're coming to go see a Broadway show, but really do not spend a lot of time here. Open up a map of the island of Manhattan, randomly point to a neighborhood blindfolded, and you'll have a much, much better time in whatever place you have chosen there. But just say no. And again, the worst case scenario is if somebody has come up to you in Times Square, they're demanding money or they're otherwise harassing you, is just tell them that you're going to call the cops. pull out your phone. They're not going to take it. Pull out your phone and tell them that you're going to call the police immediately, and they will scatter like cockroaches when the light turns on. So that's my New York advice. Avoid Times Square as much as possible. Avoid people who are trying to scam you, which is quite a lot of people here. And otherwise, have a great time in New York City. 99% of the city is a truly amazing place. And I hope that you will come to our great city. So these are the CD guys. Watch out for these crooks.